Hi, my name's Andy Freeman and this is this week's Shhh, and we're thinking about inner strength. We've been in difficult, turbulent times, so how do we enable ourselves to keep going when things are difficult, to relish and make the most of life when things are good? It's not an easy thing to do. Many people talk about resilience as though it's the kind of thing you can get off the shelf, but how do we nurture that? That's what we're going to think about. And I'm out here on the balcony at our offices at Sadaka in Sheffield, a new kind of venue, and making the most of the last of the sunshine. And we're going to begin with a sense of finding some peace in amongst busyness. You can hear the world going on outside as I do this. But we're going to try and find some peace and some calm, and to do that, I'm just going to bring out a resource that we've used a few times before, which is our homemade snow globe. How are you feeling today? If things have been shaken up, then we're just going to find time as we begin to settle. And whatever's going on, to find those rhythms as things settle down. So let's settle. Think about what your day has been like so far. Think about all the things that have happened and allow them to form just gentle patterns to settle down. Allow everything to find its place. Allow anything that's been shaken up and become turbulence just to find its rhythm again. We're just going to find some simple peace to begin. How might I find peace in the midst of my day? How might I find peace when life is tricky? Just going to give some time to find yourself in the day that you're in, and to allow some rhythms to be found, to form, to settle. Whenever we wake up each morning, we're faced with a challenge. Whether we feel good or whether we are struggling, how do I step into the day that I have in front of me? And we're usually faced with a choice. Will I protect myself? Will I create some walls, some boundaries, some barriers? Will I be open? Will I take risks, or will I play it safe? And none of those choices are wrong or bad, but sometimes we think resilience is about building walls, and it's not necessarily that. Sometimes resilience is about having the strength of character to be vulnerable with somebody, to ask for help. And ultimately we look to sustain us within whatever situation we face. There's a wonderful quote we read the other day from Catherine Dunham. It said, "Go within every day and find the inner strength so that the world will not blow your candle out." Go within every day and find the inner strength so that the world will not blow your candle out. I love that quote. I love the idea at the heart of each of us there's something, a light that enables us to be who we are. What is that for you? Who are you in a good day? Who are you in the good times and the good places of life? Who are you when you're thriving? How can you protect that light, that candle? Maya Angelou put it this way: nothing can dim the light which shines from within. So what is your light? Maybe it's your values. Maybe it's faith or spirituality. Maybe it's a person or people that you love. Maybe it's family. Maybe it's a vocation, a job, a task. Nurture that light. Allow it to burn. And realize that that light and the sustaining of that light is what can give you strength. When I'm hurting, I want to put up walls. I want to protect myself. But sometimes the best thing for that light of mine is to reach out to other people. Sometimes the best way to nurture who I am is to say that I'm going to let others in to help me, or I'm going to seek help. I'm going to find things that can help support me. So today I'd like you to think about you on a good day. You when things are going well. What does that look like? How can you nurture that light, that candle, that piece of you which enables you to have strength to face so many things? Maybe it's in time away in nature. Maybe it's space alone. Maybe it's with other people. Maybe it's with creativity and art, sport. Whatever it is, think about how to nurture that bit of you today. And think about the things that protect and sustain that light. Go within every day and find the inner strength so the world will not blow out your candle. Some things around us can blow out our candle. How might I protect against that today? Stress, anxiety, all the difficult things we're reading in the news, fear of the future. How can I step beyond that and to see something beyond that actually enlarges that flame of the candle within me? Finding inner strength is a far more complicated thing than it sounds. And that strength is often not an outward shell, but it's something within, so that you can keep going, even in the difficult days. Think about what helps you do that. Trees are fascinating things. One of the things I've been learning about this week that they do, that storms can often help trees. Bark growing thicker and harder as a result of being pummeled by storms, roots often going deeper, trees adapting. And the strength of a root system particularly will help a tree stand in a storm. The reason they might often fall in a storm is that shifting around as the ground gets sodden might show up unhealthy roots that don't go deep enough, roots that aren't strong enough. But where that protection is strong, a tree will stand tall. And you see trees that have stood for hundreds of years face so many storms, and those storms actually help and harden them. Tolkien said this: deep roots are not reached by the frost. What are your deep roots? What are the things? We talked about foundations in a Shhh before, and you can find that on our YouTube channel. Have a look at it if you want to. But what are the foundations that you build on, the deep things that set you up as who you are? We know when they're shaken quite often because it's seismic, it's terrible when the basic foundations of our life are shaken, and we've had a year like that. But even so, many people have found that those deep roots have enabled them to survive, sometimes even to thrive. So what are your roots? What are the things that give you such inner strength? Contemplate trees, big, broad, old trees with deep roots What are your deep roots? This is a poem called Facing Fear, and it's from Rhythms of Sorrow, which is a poetry book of my work that I put out a little while ago. I hope you enjoy it. It all comes down to whether I'll face down fear. It all depends on proximity, to keep it far or near. It all hinges on that moment I stare into his eyes. It's all revealed in that instant, the truth and what are lies. It's all down to the whistle, to facing the fateful day. It's all worth preparing for what hits you either way. It's all to be decided one way or another. It's all to be concluded. Fear's not worth the bother. It's all in the matchup. I'll stand there nose to nose. It's all in the send-off, and I'll be waving as it goes. Fear does funny things to us. It sends us into fight or flight. Our body literally will want to protect us. It affects the makeup of the brain, the chemical balances in your brain. It affects your body, creating stress as a response to that threat. But some of the best advice we're given about fear is to accept where we are. I am where I am at this time, and to face it. I remember as a small boy learning to climb up big kind of wall bars in the gymnasium at school, and I was terrified, even getting up 3 or 4 rungs. And slowly over time, the PE teacher that we had would climb with me, and we'd go a little bit higher each time. And the day when I was able to climb all the way over the top and climb over the top and come back down, he sat the whole of the class down to watch me. I was absolutely crapping myself. And yet I managed it. And he got them to applaud me because I'd faced the fear. And I always remember that. I don't know if it was good teaching. I don't know whether it really helped me to be able to climb wall bars, but I appreciate the time and the effort that he put in. Thank you, Mr. Norris, that he put in to enable me to face a fear. Invariably, we need a friend to help us face a fear. When we talk about inner strength, we'll often think about protecting self, walling ourselves up, isolating, but actually we need others. So I want to finish today by being grateful for people who help us and encouraging all of us to reach out to those around us. Somebody says, "How are you?" for us to be honest to at least a few people and tell them, really, and to reach out for help. I hope you're well. I hope those around you are well. Take care of yourself. And we're hoping that we can see you soon. But until then, we hope these shushes are really helpful to you. Continue looking after yourself and those around you. And we'll see you again next week. Take care. Bye-bye.